Good afternoon and welcome to NEWSTRACK, coming to you live from our Refield studio. My name is Modesty Mianglong. Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured that the federal government will support the families of 3 slain officers whose lives were claimed by armed non-state actors during recent attack on the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies NIPS Kuru. Vice President Shettima gave the assurance when he paid a condolence visit to NIPS. Government House correspondent reports Governor Caleb Mutfwang accompanied the Vice President on the condolence visit.
Following the infamous killing of 3 security personnel at NIPS when armed militia invaded the premises of the institute early this week, Vice President Kashim Shettima visited on behalf of the federal government to condole with the NIPS community and the Plateau State government on the tragic occurrence. Vice President Kashim Shettima conveyed President Bola Tinubu's condolences to the families of the fallen hero, commending the Plateau State government for the swift response to the incident and announced plans to strengthen security at NIPS and other critical institutions across the country. Shettima, while visiting the scene of the incident, described the attack as unfortunate, stressing that terrorists will not determine Nigeria's future, and praised security agencies for their bravery in repelling the attackers, noting that the federal government is implementing new security measures to prevent similar attacks.
I come to you with a heavy heart and a firm spirit. A dastardly attack on the perimeter of NIPS. To their families, our deepest condolences. We mourn with you, we share your pain, and we honor their sacrifice. Those who seek to spread fear will not break the spirit of this nation, and they will not break the spirit of this institute. NIPS Kuru has for nearly 5 decades been the place where Nigeria's strategic minds are forged. Criminals can attack our fences. They cannot attack our purpose.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang thanked the Vice President for his continuous support to the Institute, describing the attack as one of the darkest moments in NIPS history, paying tribute to the fallen officers for defending both the Institute and its host community, and reaffirmed his administration commitment to improving security around the institution and across Plateau State.
Make sure that you do a survey of the lightnings we need to intervene to make the place better lit for the community. The immediate deployment of logistics in terms of vehicles for patrol that will be greatly needed at a time like this.
Director General of NIPS, Professor Ayo Omotayo, appreciated the Vice President for the visit, stressing that it shows a demonstration of solidarity in a difficult moment. Professor Omotayo disclosed that the Institute is reviewing its security architecture and appealed for a special federal intervention fund to enhance surveillance, while also urging the Plateau State government to acquire surrounding land to serve as buffer zone to the policy institution.
An attack on NIPS is not merely an attack on physical infrastructure. It is an attack on a strategic national institution that contributes significantly to the development of policy options and leadership capacity required for national progress and stability.
Some participants of the Senior Executive Course 48, including Dr. Towi Nsani and Dr. Kabir Abba, recounted the traumatic experience during the attack and commended the courage of the security personnel and the collective efforts that prevented greater loss of lives. This is Timothy Tian.
The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has directed the Plateau State Commissioner of Police to fortify security around the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru. Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Training and Development, Ishaq Mohammed, stated this during a condolence visit to the institute. Our correspondent has details.
Suspected gunmen recently attacked the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, during which three security personnel lost their lives in the incident. The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of training and development, Mohammed Isiaku, on arrival at the institute, met with the Director General, Professor Ayo Motayo, before addressing course participants. DIG Isiaku explained that the security situation at the institute is being reviewed, stressing that the police will look into the plea by the Director General with the view of establishing an outpost in the institute. He assured that the Nigeria Police will sustain collaboration with the Army and other security agencies to ensure that the nation's policy think tank is guarded and protected.
A lot of work is being done at the background to ensure that such incident does not happen again. We are taking a lot of assessment of the security situation in and around the institute. It is being processed for the IG to fortify the institute.
Director General of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, Professor Ayo Motayo, appreciated security agencies for their swift response, stressing that it shows the federal government's commitment to the security of the institute. He described the attack as a temporary setback, noting that training and other activities are ongoing smoothly.
Mr. President and all other operating officers are indeed very supportive of the senior executive course program, and they hold it in so much high esteem that they did not take the account lying low.
The DIG, who is also coordinating the North Central Geopolitical Zone, accompanied by the Plateau State Commissioner of Police Basi Ewa, later addressed officers at the command's headquarters in Jos. He explained that the visit, which is at the instance of the Inspector General of Police, is to review security operations, appreciate and assess challenges facing personnel in the region. I am Gokop Timothy.
Plateau State government says it remains committed to building a transparent and professional merit-based public service. Secretary to the government of the state, Samuel Jato, stated this while declaring open a one-day sensitization workshop on compliance with assets and liabilities declaration and the code of conduct for public officers. Our correspondent reports that the workshop was organized by the Code of Conduct Bureau in collaboration with the Office of the Head of Civil Service in Plateau State.
The one-day workshop was designed in line with the statutory mandate of the Court of Conduct Bureau as provided in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Declaring the event open, Secretary to the Government of the State, Samuel Jato, said assets and liabilities declaration and adherence to the Code of Conduct are mandatory obligations that preserve public trust and prevent conflicts of interest.
Today's sensitization workshop is not merely a regulatory ritual, but a critical instrument for reinforcing the moral compass of our civil service.
Plateau State Head of Civil Service, Stephen Godong, stressed that the workshop is a deliberate and strategic intervention aimed at deepening the ethical foundation of the public service, adding that it is the first defense against corruption, conflict of interest, and abuse of office.
I charge you not only to listen and learn, but to become ambassadors of this sensitization within your respective ministries, departments, and agencies.
Presenting a paper on the topic Code of Conduct for Public Officers and Ethical Behaviors under the Act, State Director, Code of Conduct Bureau, Bartholomew Bem, who spoke on the need for public servants to be honest, transparent, and accountable, noted that conflict of interest is key in affecting administration in the public service.
The government through policies and how these policies are implemented, and you are the people that you keep your hands on this file, you collaborate with your colleagues, you connive, you distort, you disrupt, you do all manners of things. Why do that? Conflict of interest.
Some of the participants, Garos Pam and Boakat Emmanuel, described the workshop as educative, saying it has enlightened them on the provisions of the Code of Conduct and what is expected of them. The workshop was organized for directors and permanent secretaries in ministries, departments, and agencies. I am Bolchit Pam.
Plateau State Ministry of Health is to establish a state sickle cell registry under the Non-Communicable Disease Desk to strengthen planning, surveillance, and evidence-based decision-making. State Commissioner of Health Nicholas Bamlong disclosed this at a press briefing to mark this year's World Sickle Cell Day in Jos. Our correspondent has details.
World Sickle Cell Day is an international health awareness event observed annually on June 19 to increase public knowledge about sickle cell disease and challenges faced by patients and their families. This year's event has as theme Closing the Survival Gap, Equity in Sickle Cell Care. Briefing newsman Commissioner of Health Nicholas Bamlong said historical data from the Plateau State Specialist Hospital from 2012 to 2014 showed prevalence among pediatrics rising from 25.8 to 28.1 per 1,000, while fertility cases reduced from 15.4% to 10.3%, reflecting progress but also ongoing challenges. The Commissioner explained that the Ministry would focus on strengthening compassionate, evidence-based pain management, improving access to essential medicines, expanding counseling services, and reinforcing safe-prescribing practices.
For many patients, sickle cell disease remains a lifelong condition that is marked by pain crisis, anemia, stroke risk, organ complications, repeated hospital admissions, stigma, and emotional strain.
He noted that the ministry would also integrate newborn and early infant screening into routine maternal and child health services, expand genotype testing, and strengthen dedicated sickle cell clinics and referral systems.
Working with the Plateau State Contributory Health Management Agency plus CHEMA, we will expand coverage, particularly for pain management and essential sickle cell services, so that no patient is left untreated due to cost or access barriers.
While commending Governor Caleb Mutfong and partners, Bamlong reaffirmed government's commitment to closing the survival gap and ensure that sickle cell disease is no longer a barrier to living a full and dignified life. A Award of Excellence was presented to the Commissioner at the event by Shem Sickle Cell Advocacy Foundation. I am Gokop Timothy.
Sickle cell disease is not a death sentence. Early diagnosis, family support, and community understanding can make people living with sickle cell have a meaningful, productive, and fulfilling lives. Consultant pediatrician, Jos University Teaching Hospital Youth, Professor Akinyemi Olafurin made this submission during World Sickle Cell Day talk organized by Youth in commemoration of the day. Our correspondent has details.
Health workers, patients, parents, caregivers, well-wishers and partners gathered to mark World Sickle Cell Day, organized by the Jos University Teaching Hospital Jude in commemoration of the day with theme Closing the Survival Gap, Equity in Sickle Cell Disease. In a lecture, consultant pediatrician Jude Professor Akinyemi of Fakunri said the story of sickle cell disease must change from late to early diagnosis, stigma to support, avoidable deaths to survival, and hopelessness to hope.
And at the level of youth as well, there's a policy by the federal government that there should be newborn screening, meaning that all babies born in Nigeria should be screened for sickle cell disease. But there's no financial backing for this. But youth has actually, the youth management, in collaboration with Clinton Health Access Initiative, CHINE. So they've actually planned to roll out a program, which we're hoping that it will start next month, that all babies born at Jos University Teaching Hospital will be screened.
Chief Medical Director Jude Pokopopoda, represented by the Deputy Chairman, Chief Medical Advisory Committee, CIMA Clinical Services, Nanklin Lamu, said sickle cell disease, like any other chronic condition, requires understanding, treatment, and support.
Rich collaboration, and we know that the teaching hospital is not only for clinical services, that's provision of healthcare services and training, but also for research.
Head of Department, Pediatrics Jude, Professor Olukemi Ige, and a hematologist, Dr. Akko Emmanuel, both said families should not be left alone without support. Some patients, Hafsat Suleiman and Ilya Zika John, as well as a mother, Khadija Ibrahim, advised couples to know their genotype and receive proper counseling. I am Katlong Gukwat.
The Plateau State House of Assembly Committee on Youth and Sports Development has called on contractors handling projects under its supervision to strictly adhere to safety standards. Chairman of the committee, Isaac Daliup, made the call during an oversight visit to ongoing projects across the state. Our House of Assembly correspondent has details.
The committee inspected the ongoing remodeling of Rampam Township Stadium in Jos and the NYC orientation camp in Mango local government area. Speaking after inspecting the stadium projects, the chairman of the committee, Isaac Daliup, commended Governor Caleb Mutfwang for prioritizing the rehabilitation of sports and youth development infrastructure in the state.
So we hope the contractors will continue to move in synergy, to collaborate with the ministries, with the House of Assembly committees, to make sure the standard was not compromised.
At the NYC orientation camp, the deputy chairman of the committee, Owen Dakogot, stressed the need for contractors to maintain high standards and ensure that all projects are completed according to approved specifications and within the stipulated time frame.
Because from the little things we've seen here, from the more things we've seen here, so far so good. We want to commend the contractor for what you're doing.
The permanent secretary of the State Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, Kenneth Onyen, assured the lawmakers of the ministry's readiness to closely monitor the projects.
All things being equal by September, he committed himself. So we're looking forward to seeing our home games here.
The contractor handling the Rampam Township Stadium project, John Awule, assured the lawmakers that the work is being executed in line with the approved specifications.
Appreciate and commend the act of the state governor and the state itself for providing the resources available to execute the project.
The inspection tour forms part of the committee's constitutional oversight responsibility to monitor the execution of government's projects and ensure that quality work is delivered in line with the approved standards. It's been Simi Cholo.
The Plateau Ministry of Justice has sustained its prosecution of terrorism-related offences in Plateau State. The trial of Adamu Isa Al-Hassan will continue on Friday before High Court 12 for directions and hearing. Our judiciary correspondent tells us more.
The defendant is standing trial for 4-count charges, all related to terrorism. When trial commenced, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Philemon Daffy called one witness, Yusuf Adamu, a personnel of the Department of State Services, who testified arresting the defendant at Niri village in Bauchi State, where he sought refuge after organizing series of banditry and terrorism acts, specifically in Barkin Ladi, Riom and Jos South local government areas between 2025 and 2026. According to the witness, investigation of the defendant took center stage from the 6th of April 2026, allowing due process to prevail, to include having a lawyer on the instance of the defendant to stand for him while it lasted. According to the witness, the defendant during investigation confessed to participating in an attack carried out on Jebu Bindi in Riom local government area, led by one Usman Halilu as leader, including 100 others. Similarly, the defendant also confessed carrying out another attack on Guang village in Rim district, also of Riom local government area in 2025. The witness further confirmed organizing yet another attack on Vom community in Josar local government area. That the defendant, who resides in Bangai village in Riom local government area, also facilitated the purchase of a double-barrel gun for his neighbor at the cost of 350,000 naira, which they also used in carrying out series of other attacks on villages. The witness further confirmed that his younger brother, Muazu Musa, used him to purchase 2 AK-103 rifle from one Damina at 2 million naira, which they also deployed to use. That is not all. The witness further disclosed that on further interrogation, the defendant also admitted borrowing 100 rounds of 7.66 by 39mm live ammunition in a heap of poultry droppings located in his house. Among other intense crimes they organized and executed, the DSS official further confirmed that after the interrogation, he and a lawyer from the Legal Aid Council who was present while the investigation lasted read the statement to the defendant in Hausa language before as superior officer of the DSS, Felix Andaraus, of which he accepted as his voluntary statement and equally signed same. So also was the representative of the Legal Aid Council, SK Adeyongu, who equally appended his signature. In an examination in chief by counsel to the defendant Mustafa Shaba, senior advocate of Nigeria, the DSS official agreed that the defendant was also arrested in connection with the Ungwan Rukuba attack of March this year. The witness further confirmed submitting the defendant's phone to the technical department of DSS but did not request from the defendant his BVN or his account numbers, but that when the defendant's phone was exploited, one transaction caught the attention of the DSS. In that particular transaction, the witness maintained about 4 million naira was seen transferred to Access Bank by the defendant, adding that the defendant claimed the amount was meant for his mother's pilgrimage journey to Makkah. The case was adjourned to the 3rd of July 2026 on the account of the oral application from the defendant's counsel to enable him access the original copies of some documents from the prosecution team. I am Friday Derwam.
Micro, small and medium enterprises in Plateau State have been encouraged to take advantage of opportunities given to them by the state government to expand their businesses. The call was made by the State's Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, Mohammed Nyalum, during a sensitization and exhibition program for MSMEs and incubates in the state. Our correspondent was at the Orleans Event Center where the program took place.
Declaring the sensitization and exhibition program for micro, small and medium enterprise and incubatee of Technology Incubation Center just opened, Plateau State Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, Mohammed Nyalum, while commending the Nigerian Export Promotion Council for organizing such initiative, called on entrepreneurs to key into the opportunities provided to them by the state and expand their products.
The idea is to sensitize these small and medium enterprises to key into the state government idea of not only producing for local consumption. His Excellency the State Governor is particular about value addition.
Regional Coordinator, North Central Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Julie Omoki, said with the challenges faced by MSMEs, the initiative is designed to showcase the quality of goods and services produced in the state to the world.
It is on these premises that this program is designed and equip entrepreneurs with practical knowledge on export procedures and documentation and compliance with national and international standards.
Supporting partners Plasmida and Technology Incubation Center JOS pledged to provide the necessary support needed to enhance the growth of micro, small, medium and enterprise in the state.
You might be aware that MOU has been signed between the state government and the Bank of Industry, and all in the quest of cushioning the challenges of issues around access to finance.
We help them with their businesses, develop these businesses that can be of quality for export in Nigeria and other countries at large.
Other remarks came from the representative of the governor on Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Gideon Agaldo, and also the executive director, NEPC. The program featured paper presentations, question and answer session, and exhibition of products by entrepreneurs present at the event in Jos, Rotkan, Nanfa.
That's the size of our package on NEWSTRACK. Stay tuned for global news at 6:30 p.m. and news updates at 10 p.m. Good afternoon.